Hello everyone, today we're going to be showing off the Snake Eyes mod in Batman Arkham Knight. As always, link in the description if you want to check out the mod yourself. This is the skin from Fortnite that they were able to move into Arkham Knight. Looks pretty cool. Snake Eyes is one of my favorite characters in all fiction ever, so it's pretty cool that he's in here now. I like the Fortnite skin. I think it's good. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. It's not my favorite ever. I think there have definitely been better designs, but I think this one's pretty cool. The Joe symbol on the side is a little... not all there, not the best, but you know, that's fine. The rest of it looks good. The visor looks good. We got the knife there, you know, it looks pretty cool. So let's go, you know, fly. Snake Eyes' new ability, fly. That's what he's gonna be able to do when he shows up in the Enon universe. Is fly like this. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have been reading the G.I. Joe series right now from Joshua Williamson and Tom Riley, which is really good, by the way. You should definitely read it. Snake Eyes has not shown up in the Enon universe yet, which I'm wondering what they're building up to for that, because you know he's by far the most popular Joe. And it's interesting that they haven't used him yet. And the series has been selling really well, and it's been getting good reviews. And I think for a good reason, it's really good. So I'm excited to see what they do with G.I. Joe. I was kind of upset with... Ah, no! I'm getting shot. It's stupid drone. All right, let's just fight these guys. Anyways. Nope. That guy instantly goes for that. Why? It would be cool if I had like a sword right now, or if I used that knife that's on my thigh, but you know, good old fisticuffs is a nice way to go. But anyways, the closest we've gotten Storm Shadow already. He was in the Scarlet miniseries from Kelly Thompson, which was horrible. That's the I was only able to make it through the first issue. It was so bad I didn't read the rest of it. But with G.I. Joe, we've had a Duke miniseries as far as the Energon universe. What's going on right now with Skybound and Image, because Kirkman's doing that with well, he's not writing G.I. Joe, but he's writing the what's the main Energon book called? I can't remember what it's called. Void Rivals, that's what it is. He's writing Void Rivals. So we got Void Rivals, we got G.I. Joe, and we got Transformers. I'm only reading G.I. Joe because that's the only one I care about. Never cared for Transformers. I checked out like the first issue or two of Void Rivals. Wasn't bad, but I was like, I don't really care to spend money on this. Oh my goodness. Whoa, his eyes move and his mouth. All right, we're going to skip over that to not give me nightmares. Snake Eyes, you're not supposed to talk. You can't talk, brother. But anyways, I always lose my train of thought. It's been a while since I've played Arkham Knight. It's been a fat minute. Probably since the last time I posted a video on it was the last time I played it. But this is pretty cool. But yeah, so we got a Duke miniseries, a Cobra Commander miniseries, and a Destro miniseries, which... Duke and Cobra Commander were both really good. I liked them a lot. Destro was okay, and then Scarlet. We got a Scarlet one, which was horrible. Again, I only read one issue. From the other people I know that read it, said it didn't get any better and actually got worse after the first issue. And I thought the first issue was terrible. The sad thing about Scarlet was they let Kelly Thompson introduce the Arashikage into the G.I. Joe, into this new Energon G.I. Joe universe, which sucks because the Arashikage is one of the coolest little corners of the DC universe. And so to be like, hey, we're going to hand him over to Kelly Thompson. She's going to introduce the Arashikage and Storm Shadow. But hopefully they do better for Snake Eyes. Because I know they're definitely not going to just half-ass that. Sucks that they did it with the Arashikage, but I know they won't do it with Snake Eyes. Because if they wanted to, they already would have introduced Snake Eyes. So they obviously have a plan. Because he is the most popular Joe. And if they really wanted to move a bunch of copies, they would have. But what the hell? What? Alright, we're over here now. Alright. You guys have fun. Don't drink and drive. Anyways. What the heck? Let's fight these guys. So, I'm confident. I hope if it's not Williamson doing it, which I think Williamson has been killing it on all his G.I. Joe stuff. As much as his DC stuff has been hit or miss lately, I think his G.I. Joe stuff has been great, and I really like him on G.I. Joe. Maybe it's just because he cares more, because he's been doing so much at DC that he's more interested in G.I. Joe. I don't know. Because like his Green Arrow run was not too good, and his Superman run has been a mixed bag. Lately, it's been pretty good, though, but overall it's been a mixed bag. But G.I. Joe, I loved what he did with Duke, Cobra Commander, and the 3 issues were into G.I. Joe. So if he will introduce the Snake Eyes, whether it's the main Joe book or if they give Snake Eyes his own series, I feel like they have to. Because if there's one Joe that can actually handle having his own solo series, and I mean that in terms of plenty of Joes could have their own solo series, and it could be good, but in terms of like actually selling and moving copies, it would be Snake Eyes. Like that's who you'd want. So I feel like we'll at least get a miniseries, if not an ongoing, potentially. Depends how much what they want to do with G.I. Joe, but I feel like definitely a miniseries because I feel like that's leaving money on the table if you don't do a Snake Eyes miniseries. But also, supposedly there's a Snake Eyes, not supposedly, I believe it's officially announced. There's a Snake Eyes like AAA game in the works. So man, that would be sick if that's good. I really hope they're putting effort into that, and Hasbro didn't just half-ass it and get some like horrible developer. Because man, Snake Eyes is such a cool character. He's so awesome. I love Snake Eyes. I think he has the greatest origin story in all of comics with Snake Eyes Declassified. I love Snake Eyes Declassified. It's such a good comic. I've talked about it for like over a decade at this point on my channel, how much I love that comic. And I think it's the best origin style. I think it's the best origin comic there is. All right, so let's go up top here.
Okay, whatever. I'm just saying, what happens? The city's gonna be ours.
Let's explode this real quick. But man, he's an awesome character. And they sadly gave him a horrible movie years ago, which I was not when it was announced. I was like, oh, I hope it's good, but I wasn't looking forward to it too much. And then when the trailer came out, I was like, oh, this movie's gonna suck. And then it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It was so bad. Oh man. They did the whole they did the whole, you know, he knows martial arts, so he must be Asian, right? And he's a white guy in the comics. He's a blonde-haired white guy in the comics, which is part of his arc. Because when he goes over to the Arashikage clan, they don't accept him. They're not they're not too happy with him because he's an outsider. He doesn't look like them. He doesn't sound like them. And, you know, that's part of his arc. It's part of the whole thing, like, with Iron Fist that people miss. Where they're like, well, you know, it's bad that Iron Fist's a white guy because he knows Kung Fu, which means, obviously, if you know martial arts, you're supposed to be Asian. That's just how it goes. To say that isn't racist for some reason. But to have a white guy that knows martial arts is. You know, it's weird. It's such a weird thing with Snake Eyes and Iron Fist. People completely miss the part where it's like, that's a huge part of the character. Like, there's a reason that they're like... that they are that way. Like, there's plenty of characters who could be like their race doesn't really affect the story for them. But Iron Fist and Snake Eyes are two guys that you can't really say that for. It's a huge part of their character. But anyways, in the movie, they're like, nah, let's make him Asian. Let's make him Henry Golding. I like Henry Golding a lot, by the way. He's so good, The Gentleman. He's amazing in that movie. But he's not Snake Eyes. Ow! And in that movie, he's the worst character, not because of Henry Golding, but just the writing in that. Everything of that movie was awful. And it made me very sad. And in the last, like, 5 minutes, the last 30 seconds, he gets his mask and puts it on. The whole time he has his face out, which was another problem with having Henry Golding, because, like, you have this handsome actor guy, you want to show his face. It's like, no, you need someone where you don't want to show his face. This isn't what we're supposed to do. The movie was so bad. I'm gonna finish this. My first introduction to Snake Eyes was when I was a kid, the Spy Troops movie. I don't know if anyone watched that. Kind of like 2003. And in it, freaking Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow moved like faster than light. They would legit like flash speed blitz around to fight each other and bounce off walls. It was insane. Everyone else moved at a normal speed, but like them two, crazy. I remember like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. And that was when I was like, Snake Eyes. That's the guy. That's my favorite. But sadly, he's been wasted for a long time now. But maybe, you know, maybe his video game will be a hit. Maybe we'll have some great comics. Maybe they'll give him redemption in the movies, but probably not, because G.I. Joe right now, the plan for G.I. Joe in the movies is they're just going to replace the military guys in the Transformers movies, is what they said the plan was. So, you know, like in the Michael Bay Transformers movies, how you had like Josh Duhamel, the bros, and like how they would just show up, be like, oh, the Decepticons are doing this stuff. We gotta stop them. That's gonna be the G.I. Joe guys now. So nothing special about them. They're just gonna be those guys. That's what they said. So no plans for G.I. Joe movies right now. But the comics are doing real well. If that continues up, if the game does well, because G.I. Joe is a name brand, and you know, IP is hot. People love, you know, recognizable IP. So maybe we'll get some new G.I. Joe stuff. Who knows? But this skin is pretty cool. Until then, we have Arkham. We have Arkham Knight. We have Snake Eyes and Arkham Knight. Pretty cool. He looks sick. If only he had some freaking swords. If he had a sword, that'd be cool. I would like the commando version where he's got like his it's not in Fortnite though, but the commando version where he's got like his freaking sweater, like a sort of turtleneck type thing. I love that version of Snake Eyes too. There's so many cool different versions of Snake Eyes. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. And I will see y'all in the next one.
Hey, skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, you know I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.